Good morning, and welcome to the Growth and Thriving Morning Mindset email. I'm your host, Dr. Jerry Sunshine Novak, the biker psychologist, and this is your twice weekly source for all things to facilitate growth and thriving in your life. We talk about health and fitness, nutrition, interpersonal wellness, mental health, spiritual health, and financial well-being. This morning's message is going to focus on financial well-being. And it's geared more toward people maybe who are having a struggle with finances, though it doesn't have to be. This could be for anybody. But I'm going to give you a quick tip that you can use when you are struggling financially. We always have to, just like first aid, we have to treat what's most threatening first, right? So if somebody is unconscious and their heart's not beating, but they are bleeding profusely from an artery, we have to treat the bleeding first, because from an arterial bleed, you could die within 2 minutes. With loss of heartbeat and loss of oxygen, you could die in 4 to 6 minutes as an adult. So the bleed is more threatening than the heart failure. So we treat the bleeding first. We look at finances similarly when we're trying to recover from a hardship. And so what's most threatening for most people is hemorrhaging money in places that they don't recognize. The sort of stereotypical go-to for this is the Starbucks run in the morning, right? Stop spending $7 on a Starbucks every morning, or and you'll have X amount of dollars, so on and so forth. I like to empower people to make their own choices. If Starbucks is a priority for you and it's important to you and you're making this choice consciously with your eyes wide open, I have no problem with that. But here's the little hack. Pick 3 days a week, maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And on those 3 days each week, find a way to save $5. So if you eat out for lunch and you normally spend $15, find a way to spend $10 for lunch and save that $5. Just 3 days a week. Don't have to do it every day. My approach to this is I don't want people to have to get into extremely restrictive practices, because they're not going to be sustainable. People aren't going to do it. And this is why people struggle financially. This is why people struggle to manage their weight, to eat well, to exercise regularly. Let's start with what's manageable. 3 days a week. Find a way to save $5. Maybe it does mean that you skip Starbucks those 3 days and you go to Starbucks the other days. Doesn't matter. This means you will be hanging on to $15 a week. That's great. Terrific. However, what you need to know, and by the way, we can extrapolate that out. If you're hanging on to $15 a week, you're hanging on to $60 a month, right? But then the next thing I would recommend you do is open yourself a high yield savings account. So there are several organizations that have them. There's one that by Goldman Sachs that's called Marcus. American Express has one. Vanguard is starting one. I can tell you right now, the American Express savings account, which you don't need an American Express card for, it's just a separate piece of their business, pays 4.15% interest, compounded monthly. So if you save your $5 3 days a week, $15 a week, $60 a month, and you put it into this American Express high yield savings account, in 1 year, you will have saved $720, right? 60 a month times 12 months, $720. But at the end of the year, you will have $733.85. So you will have the $720 you saved plus $13.85 that are just given to you from interest. If you were to do this for 2 years, you would have saved $1,440, $1,440. But in your account, you would have $1,498.75. So you would have the $1,440 that you saved plus another $58.78. So the first year you earned $13 in interest. But the second year, right, you earned quite a bit more to bring it up to almost $60. So this is the power of compounding interest. Now, one of the sidebars to know is that at 4.15%, this savings account is paying exponentially more than any bank savings account you could find. However, you are still not outpacing inflation. Your money will depreciate in this account. However, it's important to have an emergency savings fund. And in 2 years, $1,500 is a pretty good emergency savings fund. And you could do that with just hanging on to $5 3 days a week. Now, what I want to note is that most people who start a program like this won't do $5 3 days a week for 2 years. They'll do it for like 3 months and they'll get used to it, and maybe they'll add a fourth day, and instead of $15 a week, they're going to save $20 a week. And if you do that, right, $20 a week now becomes $80 a month times a year times 2 years with compounding interest. Those numbers grow exponentially. They're hard to calculate, but they grow quickly. And this is a really easy way. You will likely not even feel the restriction in your lifestyle from $5 3 days a week. So you don't have to give up Starbucks altogether. You don't have to give up eating out for lunch altogether. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to reduce the amount of money that hemorrhages out of your account on a regular weekly basis without you even knowing it. It could be the magazine at the checkout counter at the grocery store. Whatever it is, find a way, and as you do this, message me. Let me know how you're making out with it. I love to hear your success stories. Now, of course, there's more to financial management than this. Don't worry, I will have certainly podcast episodes that are discussing this in the future, and I have a short course that will be coming out for sale soon. It'll be very affordable, but it will be first aid for personal finance. So it will go over many tips and steps of how to recover from financial hardship and get yourself back into a decent place. There's issues like paying down debt and how to do that systematically, how to create short-term versus long-term savings, and why that's important, as well as tips on then building and planning for retirement and overall financial health. So try this process out. Let me know how you make out with it. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, this is Dr. Jerry Sunshine Novak saying just keep growing until you're thriving. Take care, everybody.